And we are live with Totally Just Hell, episode 25. Um, After the disaster of what episode 24 was yesterday, I once again at TJH and once again having some technical difficulties with the hardware I have. My camera, for whatever reason, I am trying to use a new camera that I have got that I'm probably gonna send back because it's not really working that well. But I went and got one of those Samsung Galaxy cameras and attempted to use what's it called? It's one of those encoding softwares for Android that allows you to uh, have the source code through that app and it will play to this. But I couldn't get that to work. So I sent it back and I'm now using my Venue 8 Pro camera off because I kind of got pissed off with the way this camera works. It's like this. I like see I'm so used to steering in like this vicinity here. Like the camera's so fucking off. The camera's like right here, and my point of view is like from right here. That's like just fuck the camera because it's gonna be a pain with the if I'm looking at this fucking thing. So I'm gonna try and find a better camera for doing this. Maybe I'll just start using my laptop for these podcasts again, so I don't have to look a certain way just to be straightforward in front of the camera. But I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do yet. But otherwise, in this motherfucking podcast, I might as well bring up I got a job at Taco Bell. That will be very interesting for me, considering the fact I eat there a lot. Um, I go in for orientation this Monday, the 28th. So that's going to be an interesting experience for working there. So on top of that, that also means that my uploads for this channel will be a bit limited than I originally planned for 2016. But nonetheless, I will still upload stuff to this channel like XCW and whatnot. But for Totally Just Tell, this will most likely mean that everything else is going to be on every so often schedule, like XCW. Which is completely fine for me because I need to make some money instead of just sitting on YouTube all day. So, yeah. In other news, XCWE Winter Showdown is going to hopefully be uploaded this upcoming week. If not around the same time as New Year's resolution, which might be uploaded before Winter Showdown, but as far as the timeline goes, Winter Showdown was recorded before New Year's resolution, so we apologize for any misconception. We will have it in line on the playlist, however, and probably put in the the dates so people know what one to watch first, if that's the case. But hopefully, we will have Winter Showdown out before New Year's resolution, which gets released on New Year's. In other XCWE news, the East Coast tournament is going to be edited a bit due to a lot of people walking out of the roster. We were originally going to have a couple people enter, but now it's just going to be the 8 from both Halloween Havoc and Winter Showdown, which is going to be limited down to 4 to face off at what the fuck do we call? Oh yeah, New Year's resolution, and the finals are at our version of Royal Rumble, the Extreme Rumble, and there will determine the East Coast champion. Now, I'm not going to give any spoilers of who won the matches because that just be ruining the pay-per-view itself, as a majority of the pay-per-view are the tournament matches other than the main events for the titles that are not vacant like the East Coast Championship. Another big news as go of XCWE is the East Coast tag team titles are going to be established at New Year's resolution, and what we have is called well, at least at this time of the year, the Blizzard Tag Match. Now, for those that don't know what that is, that's one of our original matches, like the Inside the Freezer. It's basically a tag team battle royal, but all the people that aren't tagged in are on the outside. It's tagging only, pinfall, submission over the top rope. But as an added bonus, if your tag partner falls off the ring or the canvas or whatever it is, the platform, they are eliminated. So that goes until there's one team left standing to crown the East Coast Tag Team Champions. Another thing is probably the most interesting one is we are going to return the Inside the Freezer match some way or another. Possibly in January or February, we will probably do such a match. But it will be more likely fans instead of air conditioners because those are cheaper to obtain. Now, other than XCWE, another huge update on what we're gonna do on the Straight Edge Punks channel. Like I just previously mentioned, my huge update. I got a job at Taco Bell, so updates are going to be limited, as well as uploads. So I won't really have a lot of time to do that anymore. So I apologize if a lot of the time our Twitter is vacant, as me and Nick are pretty much the only two that have access to that. Now, It's not going to go completely vacant, but it's not going to be as active as it is right now. As like I said, I now have a job and I'm going to record when I can. But things like XCWE will still be on schedule because that only takes like a few days to record, and we like record once every weekend. So that won't be much to do. But as for like TJH reviews, that's gonna probably be every so often, like it was intended to. But I made it every once in a while, like every week. But that's gonna be changed now to every once in a while, like I originally intended it, because I really can't go over if I have a job. Now another thing that is gonna be taken care of is one of the 2016 updates is a new idea to XCWE. Instead of focusing on being a rival to every other company in the world, we're gonna just be our own unique thing. We have launched a new style of wrestling at the same moment we launched the new name and the commercial and whatnot. We are now going to be wrestling with a twist of comedy, profanity, and sometimes dirty jokes or puns, and just top-notch, outrageous crap. Of course, at XCW and anything that's combined with the straight edge punks, we have our strict straight edge policy. We don't care what the hell you do outside of the confinements of an SEP ran thing, but as the owner and interestingly enough, the champion of XCWE, that is my policy that everyone follows my straight edge rules, as I am straight edge, and everyone else in SEP is, well, Isaiah Dare, but that was an exception at one point, that he basically walked out. But hey, at least Nick's back. You know, that's a right, but that's kind of going off subject. XCWE, strict straight edge, while what sounds professional to say, straight edge while in the confinement of the SEP ran company. I think that's professional in some way. I don't know. I'll probably have to look up how companies actually fucking say it, but expect a lot more profanity and comical nonsense mixed in with wrestling for XCWE in 2016, as we're really gonna make something unique. Of course, with the straight edge policy intact, we will also make sure that no smelted shit lovers or dehydrated shit lovers or rolled up shit lovers will be allowed. Otherwise, that risks of a termination of contract and to be kicked from the XCWE roster. Us at SCP have those strict guidelines intact because we do not like those type of people who smoke, drink, or do drugs. That is everything we are against. And in XCWE, to the current roster, and to anyone that future joins, that is our policy. So do not break it if you want to be part in the fun that is XCWE. The next major update will be Totally Just Hell is going to hopefully go back to the way it once was, being live and pretty much just anywhere. Possibly Colony Center, which is the mall around here, or just randomly walking up the streets, going into Taco Bell and Moe's and whatnot. I'm planning to go to Metro PCS with my first paycheck, because they have unlimited everything, and I can have a mobile tethering hotspot to be able to have my PC on the go with a mobile hotspot. Now, I could explain how that works, but I don't really feel like going into it. But I pretty much have a Windows 8.1 tablet, and that's how I'm doing this podcast right now. They give it a bit of a test of how to do shit. Let this. Unfortunately, I can't use the back camera to do live streams on Google Hangouts. That's why I'm trying to figure out how to use a different camera to use the it's called shit, what the fuck was it called? I'll probably look it up later, but it's something to do with the address of the server that is putting this on YouTube right now. I can't always bring it up because I have like millions of data in my brain, and it's like overwhelming. Because I do a lot of extensive research to know what I want to know. It's very interesting. This is the benefits of being straight edge people. You can actually learn shit and not let it just fall out of your brain with the stupid shit that you put into your body. But, of course, you can't always have the information when you need it, because it's always gonna be behind a bunch of other information that you are always learning. Well, if you want that, just keep that in mind. You want to be smart, be straight edge. You want to be dumb, go ahead and have your smelted shit and your rolled up shit and your dehydrated shit. Of course, I mean alcohol, beer, and weed, tobacco, etc. All that garbage that you people in today's society smoke. Probably came out the sewer. Or your mom's hairy ass, but who the fuck cares? I certainly don't care. All I know is it's smelted shit, rolled up shit, and dehydrated shit that you people like. And there's only a rare dying breed that, like me, who doesn't tolerate it. Which brings me to my next segment, my songs. I will upload those in either January or February. March at latest, because it's taken quite a while to put together beats for those songs. Hopefully by March they will be released. I'm trying to find a venue to actually have a debut instead of just using YouTube. But the first song to be released will be The World Through My Eyes, which was the first one I recorded. So that's going to be interesting. Already 12 o'clock. Wow. But anyway, I am going to end this podcast eventually so I can actually work on those tracks. The quicker I get that done, the quicker they'll be out. I've wrote about 4 different songs at this very moment. The first one to be released is "The World for My Eyes." Second one is "In This World on My Own." The third one, being one I haven't even came up with a name yet, but it's pretty much in the same context that I hate today's society and how it is. And then a fourth one that I'm currently in the midst of writing called "There's Someone for Everyone, but No One for Me." And that's more nonetheless about how I can't find a significant other because pretty much everyone I've ever talked to is either a shit lover or just cares about looks or specific things in an individual and doesn't care about their personality. So all my music is set and wrote to hopefully change the world and how things are dealt and how people are treated. That's my goal with it, and that's what I plan to do. But so in closing to this episode of Totally Just Hell, I'm gonna recap everything I talked about. Starting 2016, because I have a job at Taco Bell, everything uploaded on this channel will be on an every so often basis, just like XCWE. XCWE is going to be a unique style of independent wrestling with profanity and comical nonsense. My songs are going to be released hopefully sometime through January, February, or March. And till the next episode, or upload to this channel, or whatever the case may be, I am TJH, and I thank everyone for tuning in, and I'm out.